Hey, this is Joey Sanders, Fire Prevention Officer with St. Tammany Fire District Number 2 in Madisonville. Today we're going to go over a firefighter and his gear and let everybody see what a firefighter looks like in his gear. So we have Operator Durancelet here with us, and he's going to put on his gear, and we're going to go over the gear with you so that way you can see what he looks like with all his equipment on and know how it helps him so that way he can do his job and help you out. So he's going to start with putting on his pants. And as you can see, what he's going to do is going to slip his feet into the boots, and that just slides over his regular clothes. And it offers another layer of protection against fire, sharp objects, things like that. So like his boots, he has metal on over his toes. Something heavy can fall on his toes, they won't hurt him. He also has a piece of metal that goes underneath his boot so that way he can step on sharp objects like nails, broken glass, things like that. The same thing with his pants, and his jacket is going to be the same way. What it does is it has a layer of protection on the inside that keeps him from feeling the heat from the fire. On the outside, it keeps things like the hot water, embers, things like that off of them. Just like we tell you guys to stay low and crawl underneath the smoke, that firefighters do the same thing, so that way we can see what we're doing and fight fires and look for people. So that's why you see these patches, these pads on his knees, so that way when he's crawling around, he can, if he needs to crawl through something like broken glass or small fires, he can do so and be protected. So next what he's going to put on is he's going to put on what we call our Nomex hood. And as you can see with it just sitting there, not really in place yet, but it covers up, now you can see where it covers up the top of his head, his ears, and his neck. Again, it's the same thing. It does the same thing just like his pants and his jacket's going to do. It's going to help keep the heat off of his neck and his ears, and it's also going to protect him from things falling on him. Again, so that way he can get close to the fire to be able to put it out and look for people. Again, we've already talked about his jacket and the things, how his jacket protects him. As you can see, we're going to show you this, how I talked about earlier with the layer on the inside. This is the layer on the inside that helps protect against the heat, and so that way he doesn't feel it. What that also does, though, it also keeps his body heat inside. So when a firefighter puts on his gear, and even just standing here doing this, he's gonna start getting hot, and it's gonna make him sweat, even if it's really cold outside. Firefighters it keeps the heat inside the jacket also. You can see he's got a couple of pockets here for tools. If he can clip a flashlight on, just different things that he needs for his job to make it easier. So we bring in, just like a scuba diver has an air tank and goes underwater and uses that air out of that air tank to breathe. We kind of do the same thing. We have an air tank that we use so that way we can go inside fires that have a lot of smoke, different things that we wouldn't want to breathe in. So in order to get the air out of this tank and that we can breathe, we have to put on a face mask or a shield, kind of like a scuba diver or even a jet fighter pilot would do. So this is how we get the air that we can breathe, and it stays with us, and we don't have to breathe any of the outside air. So he's going to go ahead and put on our air pack that we use. As you can see, it goes on, and he wears it. Firefighters wear it just like you would your school backpack. It just sits on his shoulders. It sits on his back. He's got to make sure that he's got the straps that he pulls to make sure that it's tight, because he doesn't want it moving around or falling off while he's doing. And like we said before, it's just a tank of air that we use like a scuba diver. You would used to seeing a scuba diver have an air tank on his back to breathe. He's going to put on his helmet. And so you can see now with this section up here and other areas also, that he no longer has any skin exposed. He still needs to put on his gloves, but you can see how all these pieces of equipment tie in together, and he's going to be completely protected. There's going to be no skin exposed to get burned or to get cut or anything like that. It makes him sound kind of funny when he's going to be breathing through the mask. It may even make him look a little funny because he doesn't look the same anymore once he puts all his gear on. He's just not in his t-shirt and pants. So he's going to look completely different. But you know, because you just watched him get dressed, that it's still Operator Lance underneath there. Still the same guy. He's coming to help. So he's going to put on his gloves. He's got to turn on his air bottle so that way that the air can come through. And he's going to connect and now he's breathing the air from the tank. He's not breathing outside air like I am, like you may be. Everything, he's completely protected now, even down to the air he breathes. There's no skin exposed for him to get hurt. He's breathing the air from the good air from his air tank. And so now you can see what a firefighter looks like with all his gear on. There's nothing to be worried about. There's still Operator Lance underneath there that's coming to help. Just always remember that firefighters are your friends. We're community helpers. We're always here to help you. Because we want to keep ourselves safe and protected so we can help you. We may look a little funny. We may look a little different when you see us. But just know that we're here to help. You never want to run and hide. You never want to run away from the firefighter. Just because he has all his gear on, he has to. So you want to go to him.